Today's video, we're going to talk about our student Damian went from vomiting before games to scoring with confidence every single game. What if I told you that 14-year-old who threw up before games because he was so scared of bigger kids, now he's going aggressively on every tackle, he attacks players, he scores every game with confidence. And the parents sought multiple psychologists and nothing was working. And every time he froze, it wasn't just a missed chance, it was another step into self-doubt. Fear doesn't fade on its own, it becomes a habit if it's not addressed. I'm Valentino Di Lorenzo. I run a mental performance coaching program where we already transformed 500 players just like they were struggling with fears and now they're captain leading their team. And we help those players with two core mentalities. One is the shark and one is the goldfish mentality. If you want your child to build these two mentalities, I have a link here in the description. You can book a call with us and we'll see if your child is a good fit for this. But why more training didn't help Damian?
Damian's always been a very talented soccer player from a young age. When players started being kind of at his level, he had more competition, he started playing in fear. So if he heard that the team was a lot better than his team, or if the players were a lot bigger than him, if the ref said something to him or even his coach, he just would shut down. If somebody was throwing in the ball, he would turn his back to the ball. He just didn't want to make a mistake, so he just didn't want to play. He also would get so nervous before games that he would make himself sick, couldn't eat breakfast, puking on the sidelines, sometimes puking during the game.
Damian's parents think that, like most players, more privates, more drills, more conditioning, sure, it helped them with their touches, become sharper, but in big moments, that's where the stomach flipped. That's where his hands were shaking, and that's why he wanted to come off early and he was vomiting before games. He didn't lose skills, he lost access to those skills. And extra training was not the issue. The real problem was playing under pressure. So he stopped doing extra reps and he changed his identity on the field like we taught him. But why was he getting sick? It's called perception of challenge. Here's what was really happening. When Damian looked at bigger opponents, his brain put the moment in the too much box instead of the bring it on, I'm gonna crush them. That label is how the brain interprets that moment and what is called perception of challenge. If the brain labels a moment as too much, this player is too big, they're gonna crush me, the body goes into protection mode, tight breathing, racing thoughts, churning stomach, and even vomiting. That's not weakness, it's the gut-brain connection reacting to a perceived threat. If the brain labels the same moment as a challenge to attack, the very same energy become usable, alert, focused, ready. Damian wasn't broken, his appraisal was off. We changed the label from I'm smaller than them, I'm gonna get hurt, to I'll go for it, I'm gonna crush them. Once the brain saw challenge, the body stopped sounding the alarm and his skills could show up. Another mentality, and that was playing a big factor into going to attack bigger kids, is the shark mentality. The identity shift, meaning he was aggressive, he was taking the risks, he was strong, he was going for it, regardless of their size. And I asked Damian one question: who are you when the whistle blows? He said, smaller than them. That sentence was running his game. And we replaced it with a single identity: I go for it, I have a shark mentality, I'm gonna crush them. And it's not a speech. With shark mentality, he stopped measuring other kids and started moving himself and going after it. He asked for the ball instead of waiting, he stepped into moments instead of hoping for perfect ones. Confidence didn't arrive first, action did, and then the feeling followed. Another mentality that he learned is whenever he makes a mistake, goldfish. Before one bad touch, ruin minutes, ruin the games. After a mistake, now with the goldfish mentality, he was forgetting errors, forgetting mistakes quickly and taking control of his game. He wasn't pausing, he wasn't apologizing, no hiding, simply re-engaging in the very next play. The longer you start a mistake or an error, the bigger it gets, and the more it stays in your mind, the worse you're gonna play next. Goldfish mentality kept Damian from disappearing after mistakes to confidence after mistakes. Very same match. The first game after the change, with the shark mentality, Damian entered the match ready to go for it, and he got involved early and stopped scanning for bigger bodies, and he actually scored the very first game that he played against those kids that he used to vomit before. The old Damian would have vomited, would have not stepped it up, and he wouldn't have for sure scored any goals. But the new Damian attacked it, finished it, the same kid, the same technique, just a different mindset, a different identity. The sick feeling faded because his brain finally had a simple job saying, go for it, forget fast. What changed that you can actually see? Presence. He stayed involved instead of just drifting and letting the things that happened to him affect him. His arrows stopped expanding into long slumps, and also his body language was also getting more positive. And the coaches also trusted him more in big moments because he just didn't disappear, and also his teammates trusted him more. So just a new identity, new mentality completely changed Damian's mentality, personality, and game. And kids who fear bigger opponents often run into an invisible script that says I'm smaller, so I'm in danger. The shark mentality overrides that script and the body will follow. Shoulders stop shrinking and eyes stop scanning for what might go wrong, and they focus on how can I score this? How can I dribble this guy? How can I go and steal the ball from this person? Now, the goldfish mentality protects the confidence mid-game because confidence leaks when mistakes become stories, and goldfish blocks the story. It prevents that arrow to continue affecting the next plays. And when kids re-engage immediately, they stop negotiating with fear. So in the end, momentum builds from participation and taking action and not perfection. We know that mistakes are going to happen. We tell this in our program to our kids. And I have a link here in the description if you want to book a call with us and see if your child is a good fit for this. What we want to say and what to avoid is keep it short when you give them feedback, stay calm, stay consistent with their feedback, and don't just say negative things. Focus on what they did right first and then address what they could improve. Not what they did wrong, but what they could improve on. And during the game, do not be the referee, the coach, the crazy hooligans from the sides. If you have nothing positive to say, don't say it. Writing down any positive or negative feedback, you're going to tell them at the end. The myths most parents say, more training equals to more confidence. Couldn't be more wrong than that. Extra reps are great, but without a game day identity, without those mentalities, without the rep on those mentalities, your child will still play in fear in big moments. And for your child, size decides everything. Size matter, but presence matter more. Mentality matter more. We have seen smaller kids going aggressive on the tackle and actually winning those tackles. So be a shark, use the goldfish mentality to forget mistakes, encourage yourself and your teammates, and that's how you're gonna outperform everybody else. We call it the mental loop, where you go from shark mentality to making a mistake and forgetting about it, and then using the positive self-talk and going back to the shark mentality as your base mentality. That's why Damian changed. That's why Damian stopped vomiting. That's why Damian stopped scoring more goals. They didn't do more reps. They just changed their mindset.
Now I feel like Damian is playing as he should. We knew he had the potential in there. We knew what he could do, but it was really that fear that was holding him back. And so vomiting is a thing of the past. He tells me before games, Mom, I'm not nervous, is willing to eat breakfast, which was like a struggle to get him to eat before. And he's taking so many more risks in games and in practices, just like really going for it. So I just see him playing up to his ability instead of playing below it.
If you want your child to do the same, I have a link here in the description. Book a call with us. I'll see you in the next video.